Be Wealthy and Smart, episode 590.
Step into a world of wealth and financial freedom without budgets, boredom, or bosses on Be Wealthy and Smart. And now, here's your host, Linda P. Jones.
Welcome to Be Wealthy and Smart. I'm Linda P. Jones, America's Wealth Mentor, empowering women and men worldwide to financial freedom. On today's show, we're going to talk about 3 steps to $1 million in your 401k. And this comes to us from an article in Investors Business Daily, and it was written by Paul Katzif. And it says, you can reach $1 million with average paycheck and contribution rates. A lot of people think they need $1 million in retirement savings, but that tall total looks like Mount Everest to many workers. Before giving up, though, consider this. Building your nest egg to that size can be easier than you expect. That's especially true for younger workers. Parents should encourage their kids to aim for $1 million balances. All they have to do is follow 3 simple steps. Fidelity has 180,000 401k millionaires in plans it runs. These are ordinary people who have 3 things in common, said Katie Taylor, a Fidelity Vice President of Thought Leadership. Taylor says these 401k millionaires start saving for retirement at an early age, save as much money as they can, often exceeding a merely comfortable level, even if by just a little bit, and investing for growth. Suppose you're starting your first job at age 25. Say you expect to retire at age 70 when your Social Security benefits would max out. Imagine that your salary is $47,060. That was the U.S. average as of March 31st, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And imagine that you contribute to your 401k account at the average pace of all workers. That's 6.9% of your yearly pay, says Vanguard. That's well below the 10% to 15% rate that many experts recommend, but it's what people actually do. And your 6.9% contribution rate would entitle you to the maximum company match if your employer's match is the average in plans run by Vanguard, 50% of your own contribution up to 6% of your pay. And let's assume you get pay raises averaging 1% a year in your career, and your 401k account averages investment returns of 7% a year. That's conservative. Large cap stocks averaged annual gains of 10.14% from 1926 through June 30th of this year per Morningstar Direct. By age 70, your account balance would be $1.57 million, according to AARP 401k savings calculator. All right, I want to pause there and say, doesn't this sound familiar? You want to get the free match. You want to make sure you're getting all the free money that you can. You want to contribute as much as you can, and you want to start as early as you can. But even though they're using an example of a 25-year-old here, if you're much older than that, don't despair. You still can reach your goals because, after all, it's just part of the wealth building formula, MCT: money, compounding, and time. So if you don't have the time or the years, that means you need to put in more money or do a better job at compounding. Have a growthy portfolio that allows you to compound at higher rates. Now let's look at the 3 tips they have for aspiring 401k millionaires. Number 1, start early. Remember, in our example, the worker starts at age 25. Look how much harder it is if you wait until age 45 to start saving. By age 70, your retirement savings account balance is less than $408,000. All right, so they're saying if you wait 20 years, of course, you're not contributing during that 20-year period of time, so there's less money going into your account, but also you don't have the compounding on your side. You don't have those extra years to compound, and so you actually have $1.1 million less than if you started 20 years sooner. It doesn't matter though, whatever age you are, just get started. Put in as much money as you can and be sure to have growthiness in that portfolio. Make sure that you are invested in equities and you're going for growth. That's going to get you to the higher compounding rates. Step number 2, save enough. If you don't start to save until age 45, but save 15% of your pay instead of just 6.9%, your balance by age 70 is nearly $741,000. In addition, you should save enough to qualify for your employer's maximum matching contribution. Refusing part of a match is like turning down a pay raise. Number 3, invest for growth. Stocks tend to grow faster than bonds and cash. Cash in the form of 30-day Treasury bills grew at a paltry 3.33% annual pace since 1926. Intermediate-term government bonds grew faster at 5.08%. But I want to pause there and compare that again, same time horizon, but you're getting double the performance if you invested in the stock market. Large cap stocks from 1926 through June 30th of this year, again, averaged 10.14%, double the rate of government bonds and triple the rate of Treasury bills. So getting that growthiness in your portfolio is what's really key. Now, I'm going to disagree with this advice that they give you next. And here it is. Taylor says, if you don't feel comfortable choosing your own investment options, let a professional money manager do it by investing in a target date fund. Target date funds are mutual funds that invest in stocks as well as bonds and sometimes cash. The further from retirement the target date is, the more stocks in the fund typically. That lets it grow more. Even people nearing retirement should have some equity exposure as they need their savings to last many years beyond their retirement age, Taylor said. End of article. Well, I agree you need to have growth. I agree you need to use stocks, but I really don't like those target date funds. They have bonds in them typically, which is difficult now because we are very near to an all-time low interest rate level. That means that interest rates have one direction to go in the long term, and that's higher. And when interest rates go higher, bond valuations drop. So you're almost guaranteed a loss in the bond portion of your portfolio. Therefore, I think you need to be really careful and take control of your own asset allocation rather than using these high fee target date funds that have a lot of bonds in them. Take control of your own asset allocation and listen to some of my asset allocation podcasts where I talk about how to choose how much you have in large companies, small companies, medium-sized companies, international, emerging markets, and so on. You really need to get the growth in your 401k if you're going to get to that $1 million level. No matter what your age and what time you're starting, you need to have some growth to get to the higher compounding rates and get your money working harder for you to reach those levels. As you get closer to retirement, you can put more cash and maybe some short-term bonds in your portfolio to reduce the risk and not have it all be in stocks. But that's something you definitely can control. You don't need to pay somebody high fees to do that for you. And I think it's much better if it's in your control and you're choosing your asset allocation yourself. It's very doable. It's not difficult. And again, you want to get that extra compounding and not pay someone else high fees. These target date funds, they're really a marketing ploy. I don't like them at all, and I do not suggest that you have them in your 401k. But other than that, remember that it is the McT formula, money compounding in time, that does determine how much you're going to have in your 401k. And I like their 3 suggestions: to start early, save enough, and invest for growth. That sounds pretty much like step 2 of the 6 steps to wealth and step 4 and 5 of the 6 steps to wealth. Step 2, save your nest egg. Step 4, invest in a money engine. And step 5, compound at a high rate. If you are getting a late start in your 401k, I recommend my book, You're Already a Wealth Heiress, Now Think and Act Like One, 6 Practical Steps to Make It a Reality Now, because I give lots of examples in there. You can use it as a handbook, refer back to it. A lot of people are underlining it and using it as a guide. There's a lot of great information in there that tells you exactly step by step what to do. And you do have your Millionaire Action Plan, your map, right in the book. If you haven't yet subscribed to Be Wealthy and Smart, hit that subscribe button and you'll be updated as soon as new podcasts are available. That's all for today. Until next time, live the good life and be wealthy and smart.
Thank you for listening to Be Wealthy and Smart with Linda P. Jones. share the wealth, and tell your family and friends about the show. Check out our website, blog, and social media for more riches at www.bewealthyandsmart.com.